them say, nothing's ever promised tomorrow today. But we'll find a way.
What's good and welcome back, y'all. So yeah, this is part 5. I forgot what I talked about in the first 4 parts, but I do know that we start right here at the new place that I go to, the new sober living, the Oxford House, Satchmo, in Haywood Road, West Asheville, North Carolina. So I done paid the money to get to this motherfucker. Remember, going back, I was goddamn homeless. I was living in a fucking hotel with the heroin addict slash fentanyl addict slash crack addict slash Suboxone addict slash everything addict, Shannon. So I just got out of this place by the grace of God that I fucking got a phone interview with the Oxford House and they actually accepted me. So going into this place, I'm scared to fucking death because I'm thinking they're going to drug test me first thing. Like, before this, I thought my life was over. So I had relapsed. I didn't give a fuck. So now that I'm accepted, you know, it's a sober living, they're going to drug test you. I'm worried about this shit. So I get some fake piss. I go to a tobacco store. I buy some shit called U-Pass 2.0. It's got heating pads on it. It's fake synthetic pee. I keep it on me at all times, you know, down between my nuts, you know. And it's warm. It's ready to go. So when I move in the first day, they didn't drug test me, but I had the pee ready for me, you know, not knowing that it's going to pull some sneaky shit. We'll get into that later. We'll get into that later. But yeah, so when you first get to this place, you got 2 weeks to find a fucking job or they kick you out. This is one of the things I don't agree with, but I guess I understand it because of the money situation. It's independently ran, which means if there's 5 or 6 guys living there like me, y'all are the ones paying the bills. So if you get there ain't no, we feel bad for you, you ain't got the money, you got a month to find a job type shit, because who's going to pay this rent? There is no government institution, North Carolina. Nobody's paying this. We are paying this. So if you get behind, that's a burden on somebody else. So when I got in, I had to pay a bunch of money just to get in the fucking door. And then I had 2 weeks to find a job. And for the 2 weeks that you don't have a job, but the rules at the house are, you have to be out at the house between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. finding a job. You can't be home. It don't matter if it's rain, sleet, cold as fuck, hot as fuck. Nobody has a car. We're all recovering addicts, so you're walking. Luckily for me, since I was in that hotel before I got to this place, I'd already been on my phone on Indeed.com trying to find a fucking job, and already been going through the interviewing process for a dishwashing job through Morris Healthcare that was contracted through Mission Hospital in Asheville. So that's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? So when I got in on my second day, I started my first day at this job. So I got to bypass the whole 9 to 3 bullshit. Other guys wasn't so lucky. I started making money immediately, started paying my bills and all that. I did everything I was supposed to do. I was saved, but I was fucking up. I was relapsing. I ended up running to a bitch that was like 23, 24-year-old white girl that was a motherfucking plug. And when I tell you she was a plug, bro, this bitch had shit she should not have had. She had the best of the best coke. This bitch had all the motherfucking, she had Molly, she had sassafras. And I say sassafras, I've never done that bullshit, but she had shit like that. Just to show you, she had more than the typical weed pills type, you know, drug dealer. She had it all. And this girl was like 23 or 24 years old, beautiful white girl, curly brown hair, beautiful body, and was a felon. I'm like, damn, but I ended up running into this bitch somehow, because that's how my luck is. I always find drugs in strange towns. Ended up getting coke from this bitch, paying 50 G and fucking doing the best coke in the world, man, while I'm up here going to a fucking bar called Westville Pub. Knowing we're getting random breathalyzers, knowing we're getting random piss tests. I haven't got drug tested to this point, so I'm going to work at Mission Hospital, paying my bills, doing everything that I'm supposed to do. Because you got to think, they're used to addict behavior, and that's what leads to drug tests. Addict behavior, you're not paying your bills. You're working full time, but your money's disappearing. This, and that. That's a red flag. I was doing everything that was a green flag. I'm paying my bills on time. I'm looking clean, fresh, freshly trimmed, haircut, clean clothes, clean hat. I'm always on point, but I'm getting fucked up. I was what they call a functioning addict. You know what I'm saying? So I flew underneath the radar. So I was going to bars at nighttime, meeting bitches, doing what I do, paying money back and forth. Because at this point, I had no money. I mean, I had no car, so I'm having to Uber back and forth to work from this sober living. And while I'm doing this, one night I get a random Uber, and a girl named Andrea picks me up. It's like an older lady from Florida. She moved to Asheville. I say she about 41. She like my accent and shit. Talk about you country, this, and that. And ask for my phone number. And next thing I know, she's giving me rides for free. I'm not paying Uber no more money. So like I'm saying, like this shit is like, it's live. I'm having the time of my life, but at the same time I'm depressed because no families came to see me. Nobody's came. You know, the girl that I was talking to at the time, we and her ain't really doing good. I'm doing these drugs, having a good time, but at the same time, knowing that anything that's drug involved is going to end bad. So I know that all this shit is temporary, and I'm going to end up in the same situation, if not worse, than homelessness, maybe dead again, if I don't stop. So it's almost like it's a temporary fun. So like, you know you're having fun, but it's almost like in the back of your mind, you just know this shit is not sustainable. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't happy. And then one day I came home, and these motherfuckers decided, well, let me rewind. I had a roommate named Nick. He was a drug addict also, recovering addict. Me and him ended up being roommates, doing coke together and shit at this fucking house, getting fucked up, doing all kind of shit together. And we made a bet, pretty much, or like a deal. If you ever get caught or drug tested, you don't put me into it. If I ever get caught or drug tested, I will never put you into it, bro. And we stood by that shit, and then one day he ended up getting fucked. And this dumbass also decided to get some fentanyl and some fucking crack and some meth mailed to the house from somebody he met on Instagram. And the motherfucker actually mailed this shit. But I'm his roommate, so they ended up intercepting the shit. He got kicked out. Since I'm his roommate, they decided, you know, it's the only right thing to do. Since you his roommate, we got to drug test you too for the safety of the house. I just straight up refused the test. I was like, fuck it, bro. Y'all got me. I've been doing drugs. I didn't say that, but I was like, I'm not going to take the test. And they kicked me out. And once they kick you out, you got 10 minutes to get the fuck out of the house. So I had to pack what I could in 10 minutes and leave the rest of my shit. And I ended up leaving at like 11 at night, going to a hospital. Said I would have paid no money for a hotel, telling them I wanted to harm myself. If I was going to do drugs again, I'm going to relapse and die, blah, blah, blah. They didn't believe me. They wouldn't take me in. So I ended up using my money, going to a red, what's that shit called? A Red Roof Inn, and going and staying there at like 2 o'clock at night. I stayed from 2 a.m. to 11 a.m. They charged me over $100 for one night. And that's what I ended up doing for that night. I had been previously sending my sister money on Cash App to save for me, so I wouldn't fuck it up out of my paychecks. I asked her to send me the money back because I was in a bond. And, you know, this is the second sober living I've been kicked out of. So I didn't know what to do. I ended up going from there back to my place that kept saving me over and over and over. Bond Hostel in Sharkies. The hostel, Airbnb, $30-something a night. I ended up going back there and staying there for a couple of nights. And I remember being down to like enough for one more night. And I was like, God, what am I going to do? I'm stuck in a strange city with no family, nobody around me. I'm a grown man in my 30s. I don't want to ask for help because I'm stubborn. But it's to the point that I'm going to drown. And I can't go to a homeless shelter because they're literally full. And my sister messaged me and was like, I'm tired of seeing you go through this. If you want to come to my house, I've talked to my husband. You can come stay with me. You can get a job, save all your money up, get a car, and get a place, and get back on your own feet. But you got to do it correct if you come here. Do you want to do it? I'll come get you right now. And I remember thinking, oh my God. It was like a light. It just shined through black clouds, like just directly on me.
And I heard him say, nothing's ever promised tomorrow today, but we'll find a way.